Hey guys, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today I've got a little, got me a little gift for myself, I guess, and been wanting one for a long time, and came in the mail. So we're gonna open this thing up. We'll see what it is. Alright, so today we've got the Lock N Lube grease coupler. This one actually is the Lock N Lube XL, which is the extended reach, and I wanted that because I've got my grapple on my tractor and all that stuff, and some of those grease zerks are kind of hard to get to, and I've been looking at getting one of these things for ages, and I don't know, they're not that expensive, and this one actually I believe was 40 bucks, but I think the regular one is about 30 or something. But I really want to try this thing out because this thing locks on to your grease zerk, and it's supposedly it doesn't leak or anything like that. So once you press the lever on it and it goes on, and once it locks on, you have a airtight, grease-tight fitting. It doesn't leak out, and it's rated for 10,000 psi. So I can't hardly wait to try this thing out, because a lot of times you're trying to hold the end of your grease gun on the fitting, and then you're trying to, which I have an electric grease gun, so it does make it a little bit easier than like one of the lever kind, where you're trying to pump it, you're trying to hold it with one hand, you're trying to squeeze the lever and all that kind of stuff, and you just can't hardly do it. So I can't wait to put this thing on and try it out. It is freezing cold right now, but I think I'm going to do it anyways. Alright, so let's get a little more in detail here. Let's take this thing apart. Let's see how much of a hassle it is to put it on. I don't think it's going to be much. I think it's just going to be a matter of taking loose some threads. And one cool thing about it, though, it does come with a spare seal kit, and the seal kit is what locks it on to the grease zerk. And as you can see, as you squeeze the lever on this, that end comes open, and you've got jaws, and then there's a seal and stuff in there. So that's what does it. And then as it slides back in, and it squeezes it down on your grease zerk and keeps it from coming loose. So let's get this thing on there and try it out. There we go. Had to go get my good crescent wrench. So we'll take that. Pretty snug right there. I probably should have read or seen if there was any directions, but doesn't look like there is. But I don't think you're supposed to put sealant on the threads right here or anything, so it should be good. I wanted to make sure that my grease gun, it was rated for 10,000 psi, and I wanted to make sure that the Lock N Lube was rated for at least that, so that my grease gun can't tear it up or blow it apart or whatever. So the Lock N Lube is rated for 10,000 psi. So the max of this grease gun shouldn't be able to hurt the Lock N Lube. It should be able to withstand pretty much anything that I throw at it with it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And as you squeeze the handle on it, then the jaws come out. You slip that over your grease zerk, and then you release it. It's supposed to lock on. So let's go try it out and see how it does. Now, I don't even know how this is going to work, considering it is extremely cold out here right now. But we're just going to squeeze our handle, lock her on there, and it's locked on tight as all get out. Wow. So it's got pressure on it, and it's cold out here, so my grease gun's actually it's probably having a hard time pumping the grease in there, but it has pressure on it now. And actually I can hear the grease is going into it, and the pressure is actually coming off because the grease is so thick that it's going in and then slowly going through the fitting, and then it builds pressure back up. But while it's got pressure on it, wow, it just comes right back loose. So you put it on this one, locked on. You cannot pull it off no matter what you do. Again, that right there is supposed to be, that's 10,000 pounds, but the grease is just so thick right now is the problem why it's having so much trouble. So what I need to do is take my grease gun in and get it up to temperature, and whenever I go to grease my tractor, then I'll bring it back out here and do it again. Plus I need to set everything on the ground. But wow, no problems getting it to come off. There's no leaking at all, and the grease that's actually around the edges right here is actually from what was already on the fitting, plus the little excess whenever I pulled it off of the other fitting. But you can hear the grease is actually going in. It's just taking it a minute because it's so cold that the grease is really, it takes a lot to get it in there. And there's a lot of pressure on this joint too right here because the loader's up in the air, which it's hitting a real good test, but I didn't want to get the tractor out and back it out and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to build it up again till it shuts off, which is supposed to be 10,000 psi. And then I'm going to release it with all that pressure on it and see what it does. Nothing. No problems getting it off at all. Let's do a couple fittings down here on the back and see how they do. Thing locks on there tight as can be. No leaks. Grease is super thick right now. Wow. That's amazing. Alright, so final thoughts on the Lock N Lube XL grease coupler. This thing is awesome. Why in the world did I wait so long to get it? I mean, I've needed something like this for ages. I have tons of stuff that I grease, whether it be my Polaris razor. It's got tons of grease fittings and stuff on it. Now, the question about that, though, is whether this thing will actually get in there on that, or whether I need to get the shorter version of it to be able to get into some of those tight spaces. But I think on my tractor and all my implements and all that kind of stuff for it, my bush hog, my loader, my grapple, all that stuff, I think that this right here will be the key thing. Some of those on the grapple are kind of back in the back a little bit, so I think this longer end definitely will be good for that. Lock N Lube, they're not sponsoring me or anything like that. This is something that I purchased, and time will tell as far as durability. They did send a rebuild kit for it, so it's got new jaws and seals. So if something would happen, if it blew out, wore out, whatever, then I do have a rebuild kit for it. That comes in it for that price. So, but just from what I just used it, which wasn't much, and it's freezing cold. I mean, the grease won't even hardly come out of the gun, and it's just really, really cold right now. So only time will tell, and I'm really excited about it though, because you know, I have to grease the tractor and stuff all the time, and man, it just eliminates a hand pretty much. Like, you're not having to reach in there and hold it with one hand and then try to squeeze the trigger on the gun, which in this case, the electric grease gun actually works or helps with that situation too in one way, because you're not having to squeeze handles or squeeze a handle like that or whatever, trying to get the fitting on there. That helped a whole lot by having the electric grease gun. But this right here it's awesome. So anyways, that's my review on the Lock N Lube XL. I can't wait to actually get out and have decent weather, be able to go through all the fittings and lube up the tractor and all that kind of stuff, and really give this thing a good test. But if you like videos like this, please click the like button, subscribe, and share them with your friends. Spread the word. If you know somebody that's been thinking about trying one of these out, share this video with them. They will not be sorry with their purchase. This thing is awesome. So anyways, thanks for watching.